Hello, today on Business Success in Six with Stacie, I have Stacie Lopez here from Allie Bagels in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Stace, thanks for jumping on.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
It's my pleasure. Let's get started. If you don't mind, I'm going to ask you 6 questions about Allie Bagels. You have a really fun and unique story, especially about the time you started and your history. Is that okay?
Absolutely.
All right, here we go. When people ask you what Allie Bagels does, how do you describe your business?
I'd say we are a family restaurant. We provide right now we're doing, a lot of takeout, but we do have some dine-in. It's all first come, first serve, but it's a place to get some delicious comfort food that, I think is still pretty good for you, but some staples that are really great to have around.
Absolutely. So what were your plans when you started Allie Bagels and how have they changed?
So this one's kind of a loaded question. So we're a bagelry and luncheonette. So bagels were always, the biggest part of the business, but luncheonette was definitely supposed to kick in there, have more of a sit down experience, servers coming to your table, taking orders, things like that. Because of COVID, we definitely had to streamline things. We've definitely become more of a takeout to go operation. Everything is packaged in to go materials, even for people that do end up dining in. That's just kind of more in line with the first come, first serve seating that's, not always available. So we like to give people the opportunity to stay if they'd like and take it with them if they need to go, if there's no room available, or if they want to just be in and out. We're hoping to get back to more of that sit down establishment in the near future, but we definitely don't want to alienate any of the followers that we've grown since the beginning that know us as a place where they can just be in and be out really quick, grab their food and go. So we're trying to segue and see how we can transition in a in a way that's comfortable for everyone, but still maintains our integrity, what we want to do, but hopefully showcase some of the things that we really had our minds set on to begin with that we had to dial back on because of, COVID.
Sure. So you and Ben both have a really long history in the hospitality industry. And you told me before we pressed record that you actually opened in May of 2020. So you had these plans of opening right at the time COVID started with the sit down experience, and everything kind of changed. Is that right?
Yeah, so we were slated to open at the end of March, and as things go with opening a restaurant, there were some delays, and so we were cruising along and hoping to pull the plug, and then in April, everything kind of shut down, and we had no choice but to move forward. So, we tried to change things around to make it more takeout friendly, and we had to do it. So in May, we opened up.
Congratulations on getting through that. Now I'm going to
Yeah,
ask
thank
another
you.
question about that. You do offer some catering as well. Is that correct?
Absolutely. So right now it's kind of a case by case basis. I, customize menus according to what people's needs are. We basically draw from many of the popular things from our menu to make platters and things like that. We're also always open to certain requests. We do have a lot of knowledge between the two of us, and we have a really great staff. So there are a lot of things that we're capable of doing that we don't necessarily do at the store right now, just because of the way the concept has fallen. But we're hoping to get that to be a little more static and have an official catering menu coming out soon.
Very, very exciting. So I'm going to move on to the next question. What is the biggest way that you impact the community besides providing awesome comfort food?
Well, I'd like to think that because we're in Walker's Point, it's a very up and coming neighborhood. There's a lot of great stuff that already exists there. And I feel like people in the surrounding neighborhoods don't really come there that often if you don't live there. So I think drawing attention to that neighborhood and making people kind of explore a little bit is one of the things I'd like to think we're doing. It's nice. We get people from all over. I mean, people come up from Chicago, people come down from Cedarburg and, North Shore and things like that. So it's really nice to draw some attention to the neighborhood and highlight the positive aspects of Walker's Point, because it really is a great spot.
Absolutely. I can definitely agree with you. Walker's Point has grown and changed so much, and it really is a Milwaukee destination. So
Yeah,
that's great that you're
definitely.
supporting the community. My next question for you is, what is one challenge that you have faced that other business owners could learn from?
Ooh, well, in our first week of opening, we had flooding.
Oh,
The end of the first week of opening, we had, 3.5 feet of water in our basement. So we overcame some kind of crazy things. We had a fire. Like in the first 6 months, we had flooding, a fire. We had a car crash into the front of the building.
oh
Um,
goodness.
yeah, it was a lot. So I mean, really just taking all those things in stride, knowing that you have the support of your customers, and we've been so grateful to get a lot of regulars that keep coming back. And the more people learn about your story and support your business, the more you definitely feel like you can take these things, make the best of it, try to clean it all up and go from there.
Wow. So did you share some of those situations that came up like on social media or anything? I'm just curious, when you have a flood or a fire or a car run into your building, how did you handle that, sharing that with the customers? Did you share it or did you hold it?
I think we did actually, definitely the flood, because we had to shut down
Oh,
for
wow.
for a week after the first week of opening. So we definitely shared that. I think the fire was not as huge as it could have been, luckily. So we were able to kind of keep operating there. And then the car hitting the building, that one hit the news. So that was kind of a big deal at the time. Um,
Mm,
and we just kind of, we don't let it get in the way of what we need to do. And as long as, things are safe for customers and employees and the building itself, we just kind of keep going. So we share the news and then we just kind of move on. We had
yeah.
a lot of help and support from family to help and clean up from the flood. So it was really great to kind of share that with the public and just show that, we're still kicking.
Well, thank you for your transparency and your perseverance with that. Just so important. The next question, what does the future look like for Alley Boys Bagels, and do you have an exit plan?
So hopefully the future is looking pretty good. We've been looking for a space to move our baking operation to. It takes up a lot of space in our small kitchen right now. So I think this will definitely help to not only expand from there and maybe have some other locations, but really get back to that original Luncheonette sit down plan that we had for Alley Boys. Allow us to really roll out the menu the way we intended to showcase some of the things that we're able to do, and maybe introduce people to some new techniques and things like that.
Love it. This question is not one I normally ask, but I'm just curious about the name Alley Boys Bagels. Why did you decide to name it that?
So it was actually Ben's idea, even though my father's name was Alan and his nickname was Allie Boy. And he was a huge driving force in my love of food and my education about food, about my culture, about my Jewish side. He had a really big impact on me. And so it just kind of came naturally. A lot of the things that we do are reminiscent of, things I grew up with and being in New York, and just kind of doing our spin on it, and being in Milwaukee, really showing people that we love being here, and kind of a hybrid of the two, and mixing those things together. And Alley Boys just kind of fit.
That's beautiful. Are your bagels kosher by chance?
So not technically, they're not certified kosher.
Okay.
They are vegan,
Oh,
but we are not a certified kosher establishment.
okay. It was just interesting because you were talking about culture. So that's awesome that they're vegan, though. Great. All subjects open. What inspires you most?
Whew. I mean, definitely my son. The birth of my son has been such an inspiration. I mean, you always know, I grew up with a single mother and she was working full time. And so you always know the struggle. And you see women doing it every day and you're like, wow, that's amazing. But until you're doing it, I think it doesn't show that other side of things, and how crazy it can be, and filled with, the good and the bad. And he definitely inspires me to make this successful, so I have something for him for his future.
That is so beautiful. Thank you so much for taking time out to share your
Of course.
business, also your culture, your experience, your culinary background. It's wonderful. All the things that you've had to persevere through. Congratulations on that,
Thank
Stacie.
you.
Now, if somebody wants to enjoy Allie Boys Bagels, what is the best way for them to find out more information?
I would say social media, finding us on Instagram or on Facebook. Even if you look us up on Google, all of our information is there, where you can call us, where you can find our location, our operating hours. I think that's the best spot.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for your time today. Have an awesome, awesome 2023.
Thank you. You as well. I appreciate it.